Today we are going to do the Dyadic Communication with my sister, Ella, in the form of interview. In the first interview, I am going to be the interviewer and she is the interviewee. While in the second part of the interview, I am going to be the interviewee and she will going to be the interviewer. So, let's start. So, before we start the interview, I would like to ask you, how are you today?
I'm feeling good. How about you?
I'm doing great as well. So, here's my first question for you. What is the biggest challenge in your life during this pandemic?
Actually, I have a lot of challenges during this pandemic, but what affected me the most is I was really having a hard time focusing solely on myself. Especially during this pandemic, we are struggling with financial problems, right? I lost focus in my studies to learn, and this modular arrangement of new learning is really difficult for me. It really stressed me out whenever I will answer my modules, and then I didn't know what to answer. I lack resources most of the time. I experience internet problems. And the gadget that I am using is really not that reliable. Sometimes it will suddenly shut down. And because of this, I lost focus on the things I like to do. Instead, I was focused too much on the academic, which honestly was not a learning at all. Maybe if the pandemic didn't happen right now, I am socializing with my friends, which I really like to do.
Thank you for your answer. Here's my next question. What can you say about the COVID-19 variants, and are you in favor with COVID-19 vaccination? Why or why not?
We all know these variants cause a mutation that enables the coronavirus to spread faster from person to person. If more infections can result, more people are getting sick or dying. And imagine a lot of people every day are struggling and crying, begging for help from the nations, finding available oxygen tanks for their loved ones who are infected with this virus. Also, a lot of people losing their jobs every day, facing financial problems, struggling with their mental health, and importantly, the education systems were affected, which I was really losing hope of how our future is gonna happen with this unending problem. And yes, I am in favor of COVID vaccination. No doubt, doctors and scientists working so hard for it in order to save humanity. Through vaccination, we could end this problem and return to our normal lives.
Thank you so much for your answer.
This is my first question for you. As a student and as a member of the community, what are your contributions during this pandemic?
So, I am just like other people who are worried and concerned during this pandemic in adapting to major changes in our lives. And this exposes us to discomfort, and many of us want to avoid this thing at all costs, right? So, for me, as a member of the community, the contributions that I made during this pandemic are through the ability to overcome this problem by starting to myself the so-called self-discipline. Through this, I was able to control myself by avoiding exposing myself to other people. I learned to practice social distancing, washing my hands all the time, and doing all the crucial safety, not just for myself, but for all the people in my community. And through my actions, the other people can see it as an encouragement and as a good example, and by this, they may start doing it as well. Next is by checking my neighbors, which are actually our relatives, by calling or texting them if they need anything, or to make sure that they are doing okay. And also, as a student As a student, my contribution during this pandemic are through giving an assistance to my classmates by helping them, hearing out to their concerns and problems by updating them from the activities that our teacher gave us, especially that some of my classmates are experiencing difficulties during this online arrangement of new learning. I also make sure that my classmates are doing okay. I always chat or message them if they were able to pass the activity or they were able to take our task. And through these simple things I did, I was be able to make a difference. I will be able to motivate and inspire others to do the same. And by this, we can make a wider recovery from this disrupting pandemic.
Thank you. My next question for you is, what are the qualities that are needed in choosing the best leader? Why?
So, in the spirit of voting for this upcoming election for our future leaders, I think that the leadership qualities that are best suited to become a leader is, first, a leader must be able to inspire and have a care for his people. A leader cannot do everything on his own, but if a leader can inspire them, he can also effectively delegate. Next is, a leader must have a strong will to get things done. It is his duty to and responsibility to fulfill his promises of change in our country. A leader who is passionate that justifies his means, as someone who always looks after the welfare of his people. And lastly, the most important is, a leader must have the right knowledge and guts to think of what are the laws or what are the best laws going to be implemented in our country, not because of what is best for his personal gain. He must have a good governance, strong democratic integrity, and be competent with the right temperament to move our nation forward in progress.
Thank you. My last question for you is, how can you be an effective communicator and a good listener?
So my answer for this is, for you to become an effective communicator, first you must be able to identify your goals and objectives, the response and the actions that the audience will determine if you communicated successfully to them. This will help you to develop your communication styles. Next is, you must listen actively to those who are talking in order for you to construct your response properly. And then lastly, you must be able to choose the right time of when you are going to speak. Be clear and have a clarity. Be respectful and honest to avoid misunderstanding. And also, for you to become a good listener, first and foremost, you must pay attention to those who are talking. Next is, show them that you are really listening and interested of what they are talking about. Next, provide feedback and reflect on what has been said by the speaker before responding. And respond appropriately and be open-minded.
Thank you for that answer.